Yeah. Well, YouTube is just going live now. Okay.
So YouTube.
Hello, YouTube people.
Hello, everyone
Welcome.
on YouTube. All right. So we've got another live.
We've got another live. This time we have many questions, actually many requests. So today we actually have a list for the first time here.
Organized.
The last week we could remember 3 things. Now we have like 7, too many. So hello everyone. There's quite a few people joining in there. 8.
Yes.
A few technical problems with the YouTube, so we had to generate a new link. So we're going to wait a couple of minutes. A few more people will join in. Hello there. So today we're going to unbox a frog, Tamiya Frog at the end.
Yeah, that was requested.
Somewhere down here for those that can't see.
There's a frog.
So this will be for later.
Bit of a classic.
It's a classic. We're going to announce a new modeling competition.
Yes, so the modeling competition went very, very well last time. So we're going to do the same formula, but we're going to pick a new subject.
So we'll be talking about this later on.
Yep.
We're also going to announce a live sale for next week. Working on the details, but it will be next Friday at 2 p.m. through this channel.
Yes.
And we'll be showing you a few products, and then will be quite some good deals. Let's see how's that going to work. And what else? We've got some tutorials.
Yeah, there's some new kits we're going to look at as well.
Few people asked some questions. We've got a few kits to unbox.
Yep.
Some of you were asking about the history of Hearns, so we actually have something for that too.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. We've got a book about that.
Yeah, a video tour. Someone was asking for a video tour of the shop. We may end up doing a video and put it on YouTube. It would be too hard still to take the camera and be live on. We may study how to do that for next time. Okay, so we have a question here. DeLorean, this classic DeLorean, I think
it's delayed. I think
it's the later part of the year still. We're taking pre-orders, and I think is at this stage. I think probably more towards the September or so. We'll find out a more precise date, but the last information I had was September or so. Has the traffic to the physical store decreased much?
It has.
Yes, it has. It has decreased quite a bit. Online orders have quadruple, probably more. So things have changed a bit.
Online now,
still quite busy, so that's very positive. Thank you everyone for still supporting us. Hello there, Benjamin.
Hello.
Okay, well,
all right, let's get into.
Last week we showed this soldering iron in bits, and today we have it all assembled.
It's pretty luxurious looking,
super fancy soldering iron by Aramex.
Looks like a piece of jewelry.
It is a piece of jewelry.
So the handle is actually carbon fiber tube.
It's a carbon fiber tube, so you can actually replace the tips. So these are 12 volts, so you can connect it to your power supply if you're racing. And the 12 volt, and you insert it like this. You can buy different tips. So depending what type of soldering you do, you can get some thinner ones, some bigger ones, and so forth.
So you get finer ones that'll be good for general electronics and also for
yes,
train
correct.
Stuff.
There's a few different options here. And then you have this really nice kind of tray.
It's good because you get a cleaning sponge there. You just got to put some water in it, just make it wet.
So when you finish soldering to clean the tip, you put on your wet sponge and the soldering dries off.
Yeah. You got a little spot there. You can put your solder.
Yeah. And that's it. So that's quite fancy.
It's very, very classy.
Do you have 1/10 yellow rear rims? If you're talking about 2.2 for buggies, yes, we do. We have the Yakima, the hot bodies, and perhaps some Pro line. Hey, Nathan, joining in.
All right, so we've looked at the soldering iron. We've actually got. You had a unboxing of the soldering iron.
We have an unboxing actually of the soldering iron. Yes, it's we put it on YouTube a couple of days back.
Yep. So
jump on that, have a look.
Get a bit more detail.
Yeah, a bit more detail. So first for today.
Okay. So that's all right. So that's a new kit of the B25. This is the B version, just been released by Airfix, and this is the version that was used to fly the so-called Doolittle raids. So after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, everyone was really rolled up and didn't know what to do, and forced America into the war. So they thought to hit Japan, they'll take out these B-25s. They load them all up on this aircraft carrier. They're actually too big for an aircraft carrier, but they trained how to fly them off.
Right.
And they launched them off, and they attacked Tokyo. And then after they raided Tokyo, they had to get back somehow, and they landed back in China. And they got the Japanese very, very upset. And they went out looking for them, and they became infamous in Japan and famous everywhere else. So that's what's made the B-25 so famous.
Good.
And there's that particular version.
So this is a 1/72nd.
Yep.
Still, this is a quite large kit.
It's
So even in 70-second would are quite big.
Well, that's right. Well, you have a quick look at it. This will give
Bit of an indication of what it looks like.
yeah. So let's see.
Hello, Gary.
Right, so they're pretty well packed. So they're all sealed. So I won't cut open the seal now, but you'll see here. So
What's the fuselage?
that's the size of the fuselage.
Yeah.
So the wingspan is going to be slightly longer than that. So
it's going to be about this size. It's going to be quite a good size kit.
Yeah, that's right. And this is one of their newer molds too. So all their panel lines are really, really deep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. It's a bit hard to see in this sort of angles, but
we may do an
really
unboxing
nice
on YouTube, proper video on this one, perhaps.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
next couple of days.
close-ups. Yeah,
Sure.
So that's really nice. So they just came in
This week.
Yes, that's right.
And so we have a couple of other interesting kits for those who like aircraft. So
we've got the Zokomura Phantom. So they generally concentrate on a lot of big stuff. A bit like Hong Kong Model. They started off with 32nd scale stuff, odd subjects, and they started doing 48 scale. So the Phantoms are really beautiful. I mean, when you have a look at the way they're engineered. Okay, let's pull out the fuselage.
We're going to do an unboxing video on this one, but that's to give you an idea.
Okay, so there's a fuselage of this Zokomura Phantom. Now, it's really hard to see, but the panel detail is really, really fine. And it's probably reminiscent of Hasegawa fine detail. And clever thing about the way they've been molded, so usually when they're molded like this, all your top detail is very soft, because when the mold hits, all your panel lines and your rivets are elongated. But at the top where it joins, it's a bit hard to see there, but there's another panel, which is a separate panel, so it's got all the crisp detail that gets glued on top.
Wow.
And then on the bottom, you don't have to worry about that, because that's a separate wing molding and underbody molding, which is down here, I saw.
Lots of pieces.
There are a lot of pieces.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so they've done it very cleverly like this. Okay, so you've got a base there, so I have really fine detail here, and then they're the top sides of the wings that will get glued onto there. But very beautiful kits. So there's a little bit of photo etch in them as well.
Quite a lot of different parts. We do probably detailed review later, but I was just looking at this detail here on the...
Well, that's right. It includes the engines as well.
The engine. So
they get full engines.
Show you.
You can build and have them outside of the aircraft.
The details is really, really good. It's quite a. It's quite nice. So
yeah, they're really good. So they don't only do modern type aircraft. They mainly do World War II aircraft. So there's some Japanese stuff. Probably one of the most popular kits would be the Horton Flying Wing. So they do that in 3 different scales. So you'll be able to find those on the web and order them there. Now,
next one.
This one here. This is really oddball looking self-propelled gun. Yeah. So this is made by Ryefield Model. So Ryefield, they're one of the newer brands. They're probably similar to Meng and Takom. Really nice exterior fine detail and unusual subjects. Like this particular one is a World War II Russian T-34, which has been used in the Egyptian Middle Eastern campaigns, and they just bolted on this gigantic gun. So on the bottom here, you can see that's a remnants of the original turret. They just welded on all this stuff and fit a really massive gun into it. So it's something a bit different there.
Yeah.
Really nice detail.
Next one, just fresh from Mini Art.
Oh, Mini Art, yes.
That's this one here.
So Mini Art's got this Triberfuga. So this particular, it's I guess it's not a real aircraft, but they had design drawings for it. So this was actually up to the, what do you call it? Wind testing. So it tested the design concept, and they would have gone ahead with it if they had more time during the war. So this has been released before, but this version has got the extra gantry on it.
Right.
So this is all brand new mold, and they've added the what if Japanese markings, because at the time Japan was using a lot of German technology, and they were sort of sharing it a bit if they could.
Very good. Okay, so a bit more details on this later on.
Yes.
So, one is a few questions today. Yeah, so the yellow rims will be transferred actually this week. They're in a transfer just now. So you will have them probably Monday or Tuesday. Okay, so before we move to some modeling tutorial, the competition. So
yes,
we show a few models. So the competition, what is going to be this time around?
Okay, so we're going to make it easier for everyone to get involved. It's going to be model aircraft. Okay,
Brilliant.
So
Very simple.
Yes, any model aircraft, any scale, any brand. And we'll post up the event shortly, so it'll have all the rules. So we'd like to see work in progress photos, so how it looked as you're starting, your different painting techniques, because we'll be scoring points on that, as well as the main points go on the actual overall look. So overall look with an online competition, it's really important that the photos are really
pictures,
nice.
Yeah. Making sure you have some good lighting, perhaps.
Yep.
Good background.
Yes.
Clean up your workshop.
Yeah, that's right.
After you finish your model, you have all your paints around, just clean that one up, put some good lighting. Right. Maybe you open your window near the window or something.
Yeah.
That's always really good.
Yeah, so it'll really help us to see the detail and how it was built, as well as the overall impression of it.
Yeah.
So imagine a magazine type photo.
Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah. And so the prize is going to work the same sort of way. So the more entries we get, the bigger the prize is going to be.
So it's $5 per entry, up to $300 overall.
That's right. So if we can get up to or over 60 entries, the maximum prize pool is going to be $300 worth of vouchers. Yeah.
So also, if you have already started a model, you can still enter that. You don't have to start from today.
That's right.
We will end the competition on the 1st of May.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, you can enter project that you've started already. We know that if you do a 48 scale or a 32nd, it may take several months. So please make sure you enter that one too, as long as it's finished by the 1st of May.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and all you have to do to enter is just upload all your photos into the comments area of the event page. It's that simple.
Correct. Yeah. Very good. Okay, so we had a couple of questions on how to do some modeling.
Yes.
First question, which is very interesting in my opinion, and I don't know the answer, is when to use an airbrush and when to use a paintbrush. So when is the time that you switch from an airbrush to a paintbrush or vice versa? Okay,
so an airbrush gives a very different look to what a paintbrush can achieve. Yeah. Okay, so an airbrush gives a much smoother overall tone. It's great for shadowing or doing some panel differences. Fine weathering. But when it comes to very, very fine detail, chips and things like that, that's where you need a paintbrush. Yep. So if you're doing streaks and things like that, that's where a paintbrush is going to do that as well. So the airbrush is going to be great for overall camouflaging and the coverage. And say you want to do rough streaks. Just say you got the side of a fuselage. It's been sitting around for a while. You'll have soot that naturally comes off it. So you can start off with a few really fine lines of black, and then you can add in some black across the top and streak it down with a brush.
Right. Oh, I see. A mixed technique then.
That's right. Yeah. So use both applications to achieve what you really want to do.
Right. Yep. So I guess it sounds like a much more complicated topic than a couple of minutes.
Well, it is. So you could talk for hours on that. So there's different times when you use an airbrush for doing your top coats, for instance.
Right.
Yeah. Or you want to brush on your top coats because you want that rough finish.
Yeah. So maybe we can schedule a video on how to on this topic eventually.
Yeah, for sure. So it'll probably take a few videos, and we'll just go through different
stages, different steps. Sure. Very good. The next question I had around was window rubbers.
Window
rubbers. Yeah.
So I guess one of the tricky things about car models is there's really fine black rubber, line, which is normally around the windows, like a windscreen and such. Okay, so it's going to be a bit hard to show you now, but I'll show you on this box art here. Okay, so if you this is for the Instagrammers. Okay, so you can see all the black that's around here, and then here for the YouTubers. So all this sort of black, and then the fine lines around here. So usually you'll get this as the body. So even those black trims around the sides. So you get the body, you'll spray paint it. You know, you use your airbrush or use a spray can, and it'll be the overall tone. So if you did this, you do it in white. And then to do all these finer details around the edges, so you'll either brush paint it if you've got a very, very steady hand. Or, I've got a steady hand, but you can't get those straight lines
super straight. Yeah.
So you can use masking tape. So use the thinnest masking tape you can, and you stretch it along those lines. And then if it's very flexible, you can do it around the curve as well. But just say you've got regular masking tape and you can't. So as long as it's a good masking tape, you can just do the straight edges.
Yep.
And then you can just do
the
corners. Yeah, that's right.
Would you use a marker or something like that? Like a marker type?
Well, you could, but I think I find better control in a brush.
In the brush, yeah.
Because a brush has got a soft tip, and if you mix down your paint so it's almost a wash, what you find is the detail would be recessed, so it will act like a panel line first. So you fill in the panel line, and they'll give you an idea of how to fill in the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So if you want it really, really smooth, you mask it all and then airbrush it over.
Yeah.
If you prefer not to, because you're worried about overspray and your masking techniques, then you just brush paint it on.
Or straight.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah, that's it. So that's how you do your rubbers around the cars and stuff.
Yeah. Very good. Anthony is asking if the Aromax soldering iron is good for beginners. I guess so. I guess it would be.
I mean, as you get it like this, it's got the big tip on it, which is perfect for RC use. So you see how chunky it is. Okay, so I'll bring it up here. So you'll see it there. So that's probably around about that's about 6-7 mil wide, and it's a chisel type. So over here, I just see that there. Okay, so this is perfect for doing batteries, because with RC you want the heat to be able to go into the surface as quickly as possible, and it has to be really hot, because some of the wires there, if it was thin, it would just suck all the power out of the iron, and it would just get stuck there. So if you're talking about for beginners for RC, this would be perfect.
It would be really good,
because there's no actual control on it. It just heats to a particular temperature,
which then works. Yeah,
that's right. So it doesn't confuse you with different temperature settings or anything. Just really hot. The
key is high temperature. Like if the iron doesn't get hot enough, you will struggle to get a good result.
That's right.
So could be a good option.
Yeah, and it looks smart. It's almost like a James Bond accessory.
It is. Putting in your jacket. Okay, so talking about the history. So, as many of you know, Hearns started in 1947. So there's quite a lot of history. We've done some posts on Facebook a few months back about the history, and
we have done
Hearns brothers and so forth. What we're going to show you today is a book.
So this is a book that was heavily researched by Jeannie Davies, and she did this a few years ago. And this is all about the history of Flinders Street Station. So there's all different chapters about various parts of the station and how it grew from the smaller original station to the size it is now.
Yeah.
And then there's actually a whole chapter in here, which is just on Hearns hobbies. So I think it just starts here.
Got pages before.
Yeah, just one page.
There we go.
Is it there? Okay, so on the chapter here. So you see here is the drawing of Flinders Street Station, and you'll see that grey line pointing to this circle here. Well, that's where we are right now. So we are actually right here. Okay, and so from here, let's see if I can just move it across here. So the chapter is quite large and quite extensive, and information was provided by the Hearn family. Okay, so you can see some of the photos there of Keith and Bruce and Jack. So the three brothers are all involved in the military. So it was all it should have been all the Air Force, I think. So during World War II. So Jack in particular was flying fighters. Bruce, I believe, was in Bomber Command, and Keith, I'm not too sure, but he was also flying aircraft at the time. Okay, so you see them here during wartime. I think that's just after they got back. And then this is when they were just starting up the store. So this photo is at the Vaults, which is just further down this way.
Up the road, yeah.
And that was the first Hearns store in 1947. And then you'll see over here, they're the Vaults again. And here is, I don't know if you can see the photo, that's Jack Sr. So that's Jack's father. Well, that's all their fathers inside the Vault original store. And at that time, the big thing was aircraft.
Balsa planes.
That's right. And particularly they were part of the Air Force. When they got back, they were involved in training cadets about aerodynamics. Yeah. And so they were building
models.
Aircraft.
Scale models.
And they actually designed a lot of kits that were produced in Australia.
It was an engine as well, I believe.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So they were pioneers in doing a lot of these things. And I mean, aircraft are not as popular now, so the hobby shifted, but it's still a classic part, and they were pioneers at the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's probably a good idea to have a read of the book. I mean, the book is really extensive. If you like history, particularly very local history,
it's a great book, actually.
It is. So
we put a link down here later.
So it ends up with some classic photos of, there's a sign, as you've probably seen the sign as it exists today. And then also the classic neon sign, which is still in operation today.
Absolutely.
In the window.
I think we actually have a model, an original balsa plane that someone brought in a few months back.
We do. We have a few things, yeah. So
we'll make sure that next time we have an original Hearns made balsa kit, actually.
Yes.
We will find it for next time, actually.
Yes.
We should bring it out next time. So that's for next time. For now, a bit of history on Hearns. It's on this book, actually.
Yeah, just very good.
Very nice. Lots of research has gone into producing this one.
So I guess a lot of people wouldn't have known that at one stage Hearns had 3 stores. So there was a store here. Actually, in the next room, which is behind this wall, that was the wholesale department.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they produced all their glues, they did dope, glue, and kits.
Yeah.
So that would have been produced over here. And then this is a retail outlet here in Flinders Street. And then there was another one at the Paris end of Collins Street, and another out in Surrey Hills. So 3.
Very good.
And they were in the, I think they would have been around in the 50s.
50s, yes.
So we actually have a magazine here with one of the old Hearns ads, which lists all 3.
Got a few books. We should pull them out. We have them saved store somewhere, so we can bring them out as we go along in the next few episodes, I think, and we can share one by one different ads that we're sending on the mail actually through different country towns as well to sell different products.
So talking about the history, so that's the early history. I mean, there's history that I remember too, because I used to be a customer here as well when I was a kid.
Right.
So I used to come in here in the 80s, and then after school you try to come in here, and I bought a radio control car from here. Pretty much from the same area.
Same
radio
place.
Control, yeah.
Right.
It's all the same. So yeah, the place is dear to my heart, and it's great that I'm actually here working now.
Fantastic. Yeah. So many people have been here, or they bought their first Tamiya cars from here back in the 80s, I guess.
That's right.
So a few more questions here. Can I change my drift car onto an off-road car? Ooh, well,
to an off-road car, that might be a bit of an ask.
That's a bit of a challenge. If you're up for the challenge, well, you can try. The suspension geometry is very different. You can change a drift car to a road car, more touring car.
You just got to be careful about which drift car it is.
Yeah.
So if there's a specific drift car, sometimes
with the lock differentials and one-ways.
That's right. So that doesn't suit like an on-road too well, and particularly off-road, you're not going to have a lot of suspension movement.
So that could be a bit difficult. You can put bigger wheels and do a more of a rally style car, perhaps.
Yeah.
But off-road maybe is a bit much.
So you probably have keeping that as a drift car only, and then getting yourself another off-road car that's specifically designed for that.
Designed for the off-road track.
It'll handle much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
So there's questions there. So
before we announce the sale for next week,
we're going to have a close look at the frog.
Since we're talking about history, I guess many people have bought a frog here.
They have. So if you're talking about 80s, this is the ultimate kit that everybody wanted in the 80s.
Yes.
Okay, so this was their top range tool drive at that stage. So this came out after the Super Champ.
Yes.
The Super Champ was really great, but it had that funny rear reservoir shock, and it was quite heavy with all the aluminium, and this was the next generation. So with this is quite clever because it had this sort of ladder type of monocoque chassis, made of ABS plastic. Back in the days, ABS plastic, who knows what it is? But in a road control car, ABS plastic is really tough.
So how many of these have you built, BJ?
I've built too many to remember. I've built a lot of these, and all different colors too. And this is one of the ones which had polycarbonate body.
So one of the first one with the polycarbonate body.
One of the early ones, yeah. So the 80s was when the polycarbonate body started getting popular. So polycarbonate body, advantage of polycarbonate is it's very flexible. Okay, so particularly these cars, you're going to hit things. So as you can see here,
it doesn't break; it flexes.
It all bends. And the other advantage is you paint from the inside. So you paint on the inside, and then the outside looks like a clear coat too, so it's very shiny.
And when you crash, you don't scratch
it off.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, so that's pretty much the same body as the original, except it's got the clear coat to stop overspray on it now.
On the outside, yes.
On the outside, because the original ones never had that. And if you oversprayed, it was all stuck on the outside.
Which is very possible when you do with spray cans.
That's right.
So
yeah.
That's good.
So easiest thing to do with these is you cut them all out to the lines. Spray it, or you make sure you clean it.
Wash it up.
Yeah, wash it out with a little bit of detergent.
Dry them, make sure they're really dry, and then
put in the window masks, which they may give you window masks now.
I think this should be window masks somewhere here.
I think you spray it. Original would be white and pink. Window mask in there. Maybe,
No,
maybe
there's
not.
decals.
Oh, okay, so
you
you'll just need to mask off the windows,
You can-
which isn't too difficult. Spray it up, and then you just peel the outside, and it's all nice and shiny.
That's the wing.
And
Same,
the wing,
same,
yes.
same for the wing.
It's the same thing. Yep.
Same for the wing. So let's have a look at a few of the components. Well, first of all, the wheels, classic.
Classic, so ballooned round pin spike tires.
Spike tires.
Yep.
Everyone had a remote control car with this type of tires.
Oh, that's
over the
right.
years.
Well, you want the spiky tires.
Wheels.
So these are the multi-piece wheels, which are the clamping style.
Yeah.
So you didn't need any glue.
Almost beadlock.
Yes.
Effectively. So,
yes.
That's good. And our friend driver.
Here's a classic driver. He's been found in many, many different cars. Because as you can see, that's a generic molding with different torsos here. So they could fit into multiple cars. So that's that.
So it looks like it is a servo saver. No?
That's a classic servo saver. So that's a servo saver molded in their white resin. So that's also a generic one. It's got all the different shapes there to fit all the different cars. It's got the molded springs.
So first part is the rear suspension
and
gearbox.
The gearbox. So this has got the swing arm, trailing arm type suspension, which a lot of the Volkswagen used back in those days. So the great thing about these cars is it taught a lot of kids about mechanics.
Yes,
they have absolutely no idea about different kinds of suspension, and then you start reading about it because it's on your toy.
You have to understand it. Yeah,
that's right.
And you could probably test differences between different cars. Do you have a knife?
A knife, yes.
So that's the box of
small bits.
Small bits.
Okay, so where do we open this? Over here?
It's on top here. Yep.
All right.
Here we go. So first, that is the chassis. Here we go.
The classic ABS resin chassis. Okay, so it's in halves there. So I'm just trying to show you a profile view of it. And it's just really chunky. And this has been used on a lot of other chassis too. Monster Beetle uses the same one. There's the battery case. So this just flips open. And then you've got your switch mount. Just to give you an idea of how old this is, I mean, that's the size of the switches back in those days.
Yeah.
You know, switches are like a quarter that size now.
Well, I guess lots of other things. So they probably had mechanical speed controllers back then.
Well, yes, they
which
did.
Is completely different style to what we have now.
Yeah, the mechanical speed controller, which we used to get the balloon and put over the top with the big Tamiya symbol on it. That's something different. But
we occasionally get some to retrofit with the electronic speed controllers these days.
Electronic speed controller.
Next one. Here we go.
Okay, so this is the bag for all the greases. Okay, so you got your diff greases. You've got your anti-wear grease here, which you use on like thrust bearings and such. This long thing here is actually the rubber tubing, which you chop up and you use it for enclosing the dog bones in the back. And you got some double-sided tape.
That's the classic bumper.
Classic bumper. So this is a bumper that originally came off the. I think this is used on the Hornet and everything
as well. Yeah. Some more plastic bits here.
That's the front suspension. Okay, so you've got front suspension arms here, so it's double wishbone on the front. And then that's the bumper mount here. And there.
So these are the shocks, I believe.
Yeah, they're the rear shocks.
Metal shocks, so.
Yep, so machined aluminium
metal
shocks. Yep, so they give you a bottle of oil as well. Okay, you see the ribbed design on these. You've got your diaphragms and your pistons in here. The springs.
There we go, and some more parts here. That's the turnbuckles in the one.
Okay, so here's sort of motor mount thing. You got some your front springs, your body mounts, turnbuckles, like so.
And more parts for the gearbox here.
Oh, pressed aluminium parts.
So pressed aluminium. Wow.
So the sides of the gearboxes were pressed aluminium, and the skid plate on the front. So that's the skid plate. And these bits here, which are a bit hard to see at the moment, are actually the two sides of the gearbox.
Each side. Yeah.
And then here, this is like a U-shaped upright
channel. Yep.
Actually, the witch buttons hang off that for the front suspension.
Yeah.
And then you got the front uprights here as well with the aluminium.
Almost to the end here.
Oh,
that's
the classic
motor.
Okay. So there you go, 540 size motor. So back in the day, they'll say it's a Mabuchi 540, And then we got really excited when they released the 540S.
Speed.
That's it.
Speed.
Looked the same, but it went faster. Okay, so these days, unfortunately, I don't think Mabuchi make these anymore.
Probably not.
But these actually perform better than the original motors.
There's actually quite a bit of a technique on how to break in these motors.
Well, yes.
Different opinions and different strategies to get that 2 kilometers an hour more, I suppose.
Well, that's right. Well,
this one will take you to about 30, 35 k's an hour, I suppose.
Yes, that's right.
But I believe you put them in a glass of water.
Yes.
Break them in.
Actually, this is still made by Mabuchi. So Mabuchi has actually etched it in the side now.
Yeah.
And these are now the 540SH. So yeah, oh, you probably won't see that, but there's some fine detail there. It's the writing. So yeah, there you go.
So the differentials and some more, lots of metal in this car actually.
Yes, yes.
The diff, the metal geared. You can see in here.
So they're the differential bevel gears.
Yeah.
They're all cast aluminium. And then you had the spider gears as well.
Spider gears was all aluminium. That's
so
when
you look at the drive, so the drive on this version has been upgraded from the original.
Right.
So the original one didn't have dog bones. The original one had hex drives.
Okay.
So rather than have the pin through the ball, it had a hex type, and then it fitted into another socket.
Right.
And they used to wear quite a bit because the edges weren't
yeah.
very sharp. So this is actually an improvement over the original.
So we've got a little dog bones here.
Yeah. So it's more of a modern take of it.
Yeah. Very similar to what we see these days, actually. Okay. Next, some gears. I can see some gears in here. So lots of screws, obviously, all the bags of screws. The bags have got letters and numbers, so it's quite easy to follow the instructions now. The instruction are always very comprehensive on Tamiya cars, so you can actually measure the screws on each page.
Yeah, they're all the right size.
It's quite easy to identify what you need.
Yep.
Gears for your gearbox.
That's right. So you got
the gears.
So you get your diff gear here. That one. So obviously, the spider gears fit inside. You got 3 of those in there, and your bevels go either side. And then over here, you've got your drive gears here. So these are optional, so you can fit different pinions onto it.
Wow!
Because it was an early design, you
didn't
didn't have a sliding motor. So the motor stayed put.
So you change the
size of the pinion.
Yeah. What's there? What else is here? Last 2 bits. More screws.
Oh. Yep, some screws, and then the classic metal rollover antennas.
Yes.
Don't see these very much anymore. So the idea of these is because they're poking up so high that when you flip it over, there's a good chance it'll just bounce over.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
We should try again.
Try again?
Yeah.
All right.
And
I think
that's it, really. That's it.
So speed controller there.
Speed controller.
So it's an electronic speed controller.
The speed controller that comes in this car it's a really big value actually. It's a brushed and brushless speed controller. So if you decide to not use the Mabuchi anymore and put a brushless speed motor, you can still use the same speed controllers.
Right. You just change the program in it.
Change the program in it.
Ready to go.
And you can also run LiPo batteries. So very versatile speed controller. So someone is asking, my RC car has 7.2 volt and AMH. Can I swap it over to LiPo? Well, you could. It depends on your speed controllers. If your speed controller is able to take the extra voltage, but the main thing is having a LiPo voltage cutoff.
So theoretically, it should be fine.
Possible, yeah.
The problem with some speed controllers that don't have the cutoff is the LiPo is going to be drawn all the way down to 0 when you use it. And if that happens, then the LiPo gets damaged. It's okay if you're using the old school NiCad or a nickel metal hydride, but if you do that with a LiPo, that can destroy it. So if you've got one of those speed controllers that can't sense it, it can get a little beeper.
Yes.
So you set it to the low voltage, and your car will beep just to give you a warning. And so if you hear the beep, you need to get your car and turn it off and recharge your battery.
Normally, if it's built in the speed controller, the car will slow down considerably, possibly stop. You will still have steering, but you won't have the ability of driving it. So that's a good sign to stop and recharge your battery. So it depends what speed controller you have.
Yeah.
So that's it for the Frog today.
Yep.
We may.
So
What?
Was there something else?
No. Let's see if anyone has any more questions.
Yeah. If there's anything anyone would like to know
YouTube
now.
feed is better than Instagram. Yes, it is, because Instagram is, it's mirrored first of all, and it's also vertical. So, yeah.
So we're trying to do both of them, but sometimes we can't fit it all in.
No, it's a bit tricky.
Yeah.
Maybe we could try Facebook. Are all you on Instagram on Facebook as well? We can try Facebook. I think Facebook could use the camera of the laptop potentially.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Here.
We're working on some new technology actually to run on multiple cameras, hopefully in a very near future.
Okay.
Cool.
What was that one?
The Aeromax.
Is the Aeromax toolkit worth it? So you talk about the one with all the different bits in it.
So Aeromax has many different toolkits. They go from 4 pieces, 3 or 4 pieces, all the way to up to 25 pieces.
Which
so
is their full set.
The 25 pieces maybe $400-$500, the black and gold one, but then the little ones are $30 or $40. So it depends which one. So
if you're doing a lot of racing and you say doing different classes as well,
so you get a big kit.
That's right. So on-road car tools and off-road car tools generally can differ a little bit.
Yes,
some use bigger hexes than others and wheel nut type things as well. So if you're doing a lot of things, then the bigger kits are worth it.
Otherwise,
if you're only doing one type of car, it's probably better off just buying them individually.
Yeah, you've got 1.5 mil, 2 mil as pretty standard 1/10 scale.
Yes.
You got your 5.5 mil hex and the 7 mil for the wheel nut.
Yes.
So these are the 3 or 4 tools that you need for a start as a minimum. And well, if you go racing, then you may need a few more things, I guess.
Yeah.
One more question. Which one was the owner? I think he's referring to the Hearns brothers. Which owner of the 3 brothers was the owner? I think they were all 3 together for.
Oh, they were.
For what I know.
So yeah.
Okay. So before we end this, we thought to try something new for next week. So make sure you tell all your friends that if you join online, we're going to do a live sale.
Yes.
So we're going to have some products, and they're going to be at a very special price, which we're going to show them through the live, and then you can purchase them at a special price till the end of the day, I suppose. And we'll give you the details on how to process the sale, but it will be a live sale. So something new. We haven't tried that. I thought let's have a go.
Yeah. Let's have a bit of fun while we're doing it. Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
So I think that might be all we have in our repertoire showing for today.
Yeah.
Unless there's someone who's got some really quick questions, we can run off and grab something to show you. Can you get hot racing parts? Hot race.
Hot race.
What's hot race do again?
Hot bodies? HB Racing hot race.
Hot race. Are they bearings?
Not sure really.
So what hot race parts were you after? So that's Matt. So if you let us know, we'll look into it.
I remember the hot racing. I don't remember
what it is. Hot race was big a while ago. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Could be some new ones, some different hot racing.
Anything else here?
Thank you.
All right, I think that's about it.
Thank you for joining us.
So,
well, once again, make sure you put some comments so we know what to talk next week.
Yep. Let us know what you want us to
show you.
Yeah, because we're happy to talk about anything because we're part of all this every day, and sometimes we just take things for granted. So even the simplest things that we forget about, just let us know. Don't forget the comp that we're putting on. So the plastic model comp that will be posted shortly on Aircraft.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Where are we? We are in Australia, actually. No Europe and no US. And miles away.
We're in Melbourne, Australia.
You must be just waking up.
Yes.
If you're in Europe.
So, hello.
Good morning.
Yep.
Perhaps. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
And we shall see you in a week time. So we'll be next Friday, 2 p.m.
That's right.
All right, then. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And this one.